Hey, what's up guys, it's Glenn with DIY Creators, and today is not a build video. At the end of each month I plan to put out a video compilation, show you guys all the projects I worked on, to give you some quick highlights. If you missed any of these projects, if you're new to the channel, or you might have missed one or two of these projects, then this video should bring you right back up to speed. And I would have all the links down in the video description, so if you guys want to check those out to get a full step-by-step, the links will be there. So first up, we have this concrete bowl that we made, and let's see how that turned out. This project made me extremely proud. This was my second ever concrete project and it turned out great. Now this particular project requires a small amount of tools. All I did was took the two bowls that I grabbed from a dinner party and I add mix to the bowl, mixed the concrete in that bowl. I took the small bowl and I add motor oil on top of that, placed that in the concrete mix, and then I applied weight to hold the bowl in place. I use a palm sander to vibrate the form, which will release any air pockets and air bubbles that's sitting within the concrete mix. And after a few days of sitting, the form had cured, and now I can remove the form from the bowls. The concrete bowl ended up being extremely smooth, which so smooth that it actually surprised me. I did not expect it to be this smooth. The only sanding I had to do was around the rim of the bowl. I used construction wire mesh, cut it, and then formed it to fit inside the bowl, which also support the marbles. The tin can I have inside the fire bowl is a gel fuel, and it's used for fire application, and it's an awesome product. It gives big flames, and if you like more flames, you can always throw more of those cans inside the same bowl, but this one seems to work out just fine. And if you like more info, I have links down in the video description. And next up we have the Mexica Jig, which is geared for beginners and viewers that do not have a ton of tools. So this series is what I'm working on. It's called Limited Tools, and it should help you guys start building. Now the saw should slide very easily within the track, and right here we have our stop block. Now what's cool about this is this lets you set a measurement from the saw blade, and then you can make continuous cuts over and over, and there will be the same accurate measurement. There is two videos for this jig. One show you how to use it and get the most out of it, and the other video show you how to make it. Now the way this jig is designed, you can cut very small pieces on this jig and cut them safely without having your hand in the way or having your hand close to the blade. Right here I'm cutting 1-inch pieces, and if I wanted to go smaller, I can totally go smaller. Now this jig is designed to give you some key features from a table saw and also a miter saw. So as you see, this piece I'm removing, this is the miter attachment that lets you cut 45 degrees, and then I reinstall it. Now once that's installed, you can make all the cuts you need. The jig is great for making picture frame, any kind of miter corners, and you can also make different attachment for different degrees or different angle cuts also on this jig. And if you'd like to get more info on this, check the video description. And next up we have the third project of the month, which was this floating bookshelf. A lot of angles on this project, but it came out awesome. I was totally happy with the way this one came out. I used a 1x3 pine for the trim of this shelf, and I let the 1x3 pine dictate the thickness of the shelf itself. Now this was a very tedious project, and it took a good amount of time because I wanted to make sure that I made every cut right the first time. So having this angle finder was a lifesaver. Without one of these, I would have a tough time making all these angles, and that really gave me a big hand in the middle of this project. I also ran into some challenges building this project as well, so I had to make a jig that would help me out along the way. Now for this project, I used a ton of nails and a ton of glue, so everything was basically held together with glue and nails. I found it easier to assemble 3 different sections of this shelf first before putting the entire thing together. I did the top, the bottom, and then the trim. I made a wooden bracket that I felt would support the weight of the shelf, then I mounted it to the wall. And for my favorite part of woodworking, the prep work. Psych. And sometimes you have to step outside your comfort zone and take a risk, even if it means you have to redo the work over again. I went with a lime green color because I was seeking bold and I wanted this thing to stand out, and I felt like it did just that. I installed the shelf and I added 1 screw at the top to hold the shelf in place. And last up, we have these concrete lamps with LED controls. So our starting point is we want to cut 2 pieces of PVC pipe the same length. And since the pipes I'm using, they were dirty, they was outside, so I just gave them a quick wash down and getting ready for the project. I cut a couple water bottles to act as a space holder inside the concrete form. I use a 1-inch weather strip to go around the top rim of the PVC pipe. Then I use a plastic wrap to close off the bottom part of the PVC. Then I mix the concrete, which all you needed to add is water, give it a quick mix, nothing else added to it, and you should be ready to go. And with the plastic bottle placed in the middle part of the PVC, you then add your cement around the plastic bottle. Now vibrate the form by tapping the outside of the PVC, and this should help get the air pockets out. And during the make process, I forgot to add oil prior to putting the cement inside the form. A small amount of cement filled up the bottom part of the bottle, so I just hammered that off. Then remove the weather strip from the form. And since I didn't add oil inside the PVC, I don't know that if it would come out much easier, but my solution to removing that was to just make 2 cuts on the side and then pull out that section. And with that section being removed, that made it easy to remove the PVC. Now the vase I used for this project did not fit right over this section here, so I had to use a sander to sand it down quite a bit so that the vase fit over it. Then I drilled a hole in the middle of the concrete form to pass the wire through and also the infrared receiver. And at the bottom of the concrete base, I notched out a section so that I can pass the power wire through, and then I hot glued it in place. And for the end result, I just randomly stuffed the wire inside the vase, and that was the end result that I ended up liking, and I stuck with it. Now as long as you can get a clear shot at pointing at these lights, you should be able to turn these lights on and off with the simple click of a remote press. So there you have it. You're all caught up with this month's project, but I do have 2 requests. 1, let me know which one of these was your favorite project, and 2, let me know if you made one of these projects, and if you did, which one. My favorite project of this month was definitely the floating shelf. So that's it for this one, and I will catch you guys on the next project. Peace.